The Man with the Yin-Yang Eyes, Episode 2. It's me again, it's Lucius Gregory. As I have told you before, the story of the origin of my yin-yang eyes. You remember it correctly. It is the story of a pair of eyes that can see human of another world. It must have been a few weeks since then, and this time, I will tell you a story related to these eyes. That day was Tuesday. After a hard day's work, that night, I went to dinner, willingly passing by the police station near my area to observe a bit, as for what to look for. Because my house is near the police station in the area, a few days ago, when I went to dinner, I passed there. It was also because of the passing that day that I discovered a strange thing. That day, when I was passing by the police station, I accidentally felt an itchy eye. So I decided to take off my glasses for a while to rub my eyes a bit. As soon as I took off my glasses, the corner of my eye accidentally slid to the police station. Ellipsis. In front of the police station, a girl was standing. This girl was not like an ordinary person. Her body was blurred and fuzzy, just like what I had seen in the hospital before. I tried to put my glasses on, but as expected, I didn't see that girl anymore. I took off my glasses and saw her again. That time I thought it was just a coincidence. I often see such people, so I don't care much. But for some reason, my heart always felt uneasy, and every night, my footsteps always unconsciously passed by the police station. The girl with the blurry figure had been standing motionless in front of the police station for several days now, and today was no exception. Today, I purposely passed by here, trying to see what that girl was going to do, but she was the same, still standing there motionless in front of the police station. The fact that I went to see this girl could be out of curiosity, or it could also be due to the arrangement of fate. "Hey boy, you've been standing here all this while staring at the same place. What are you going to do?" I was still looking at the ghost girl and guessing if she had some purpose or something, when suddenly, from behind came a stern voice, with which someone grabbed my shoulder. "I've been keeping an eye on you. I've seen you pass by the police station for a few days, linger and stare at the front of the police station every time. What do you want? Or do you want to report something?" As soon as I turned around, I saw a police officer standing in front of me. It turned out that in the few days I purposely came here to observe the ghost girl, this police officer noticed me. That's unlucky indeed. No, nothing. I just happened to be passing by here, then I thought about something, so I unintentionally lost my mind. I really didn't want anyone to know about my ability to see through other things. I didn't want to get myself into trouble, so I stammered out a few words to that police officer. After that, I turned my face away to avoid looking the other police officer in the face, then took off my dark glasses and put them on my eyes. Before putting on my glasses, I discreetly glanced at the ghost girl one more time. These days, I think my actions are to satisfy my own curiosity and see what the ghost girl wants to do. Still, unfortunately, this police officer noticed. So I think I'll give up on passing by the police station and continue observing that ghost girl. I purposely put on my glasses a little ajar and walked past the ghost girl. This might be the last time I see her anyway, so I wanted to get a better look. When I walked to a position where my eyes could flicker slightly and look at the ghost girl, I slowed down my steps a little. Her face appeared through my eyeshadow, and not this face scared me a bit. There was a blood-stained dent on the left side of her forehead. Although it was impossible to fully see the features on the ghost girl's face, when I saw that terrifying wound, the first thought that popped into my mind was that someone was probably killing the ghost girl. Murdered, she has been standing in front of the police station for a few days as if to ask for help. When I saw the girl's face and flashed that thought, my face stiffened slightly. I don't know if the other police officer saw the strange expression on my face, I didn't dare to stand there any longer and quickly increased my steps. I thought it was over, but it seems that's just the beginning. The next night, when I got home from work, I was surprised and a little worried to see the police officer from yesterday standing under the wall of my house smoking a cigarette, looking like he was waiting for me. At first, I was a bit wondering how he could know where I live, but that question only stayed in my head for a few seconds, and the answer was immediately answered. He's a police officer at the local police station where I live, so finding out where someone lives in this area shouldn't be difficult. I stood in front of the police officer and thought about everything. As for the other police officer, as soon as he saw me, he continued to take a few more puffs of the cigarette, then dropped the cigarette in his hand and put his foot out. "You've come home from work already. I've been waiting for you for a long time." After putting out his cigarette, the police officer walked towards me and started a conversation with me. I thought about it for a while, and then I also knew what the purpose of this police officer was here today. But I really didn't want to cause myself any more trouble, so I chose to pretend to be deaf and ignore him, then walked past him and was about to enter the house. "Hey, young man, do you need help from the police?" Maybe because this policeman saw me intentionally going to the police station, lingered 7 times without entering, so he thought I had something difficult to get help with. Oh my, what a nuisance. "Or do you want to tell the police something?" I still pretended I didn't hear and was about to continue ignoring him and go straight into the house, but this policeman didn't want to let me go. He continued to change his style to interrogate me. I thought that if I deliberately ignore him anymore, maybe he will take strong measures against me. Today, if I don't answer properly, the policeman won't let me go. I stopped and decided to ask him a question. If his answer pleases me, I will tell him what I have seen. "This policeman, answer one of my questions first. Do you believe that there are ghosts in this world?" I did not go around but directly posed a question to him, at the same time curious as to what a policeman's answer to this question would be. I can only tell you that I have encountered many cases as well as many unusual cases. This corp is clever. He did not answer my question directly but gave me an acceptable answer and suggested a few more things. "Okay, let's go to my house first, and then we shall talk." This answer has me hating off. I will not hide it anymore but will confidently tell this policeman everything. First, I have to invite him into the house, as I can't stand here and talk forever. I invited the policeman into the house, poured a glass of water, and gave it to him. "Okay, now you can tell me what's wrong with you." The policeman politely reached for the glass of water and brought it to his mouth to take 2 sips, then he looked at me and asked, "I want to know what?" I hadn't started the story yet but asked the policeman a somewhat meaningless question because it must have been a bit of a guess from the tone of his voice. "Why do you always wear dark glasses? In all the days I've been watching you, how many times have you stood staring at the door of the police station before you took off your glasses?" The policeman now began to ask what he was probably most confused about in the past few days. "I've met some weird people like you before." The young police officer saw that I was silent for a moment without answering his question when he added another sentence. "This guy is really smart, and he really knows how to win my trust." I can't be sure if he ever had contact with people like me or just wanted me to give him more confidence and relieve my stress. I hesitated for a bit more, and then I finally decided to tell him the whole truth. Everything that I had seen the past few days. My eyes are not like others. I moved my lips and began to speak. As I said that, I took out my sunglasses and revealed my uncharacteristic eyes. I have a pair of eyes that can be called yin-yang eyes, can see ghosts and other things. I spoke for a while, then stopped and looked at the other police officer. I saw that his face was still normal, only his eyes were a little surprised. But he still sat there and listened to me silently without any other reaction. I continued to speak. I saw a ghost girl, standing in front of the police station for several days in a row. Out of curiosity, I went there on purpose. I began to talk about the critical point, which would probably also be the issue that the other police officer wanted to know. I got it. You don't need to say more. Now let's go to the police station with me. The police officer was sitting quietly listening to me. When he heard that, he suddenly stood up and invited me to the police station with him. It looks like it's okay not to go this time. Looking at the policeman's face, it seems that he won't listen to me anymore. Midnight, what a nuisance. I scolded a few words in my mind, then put on my glasses and followed him to the police station. The ghost girl remained motionless in front of the police station's door. I glanced at her for a few seconds and then followed the policeman into the station. "Hello, Director Lee." Once inside, another police officer passed by and said hello. I was pretty surprised when I heard that this young policeman has already risen to the position of superintendent at the police station of an area. Mr. Lee took me to his office. Then he sat down at his desk, turned on his computer, opened a file, and looked for something. "Hey man, you take a look here and see if that girl is one of these people?" Policeman Lee opened a photo and that photo stitched together pictures of many people. He told me to look and find out if the ghost girl standing in front of the police station looked like any of them. It does not surprise me. I dimly thought that the ghost girl might be involved in some case that this police station was handling recently. I carefully recalled the face and figure of the girl standing outside, then looked at the pictures and compared them. It looks like this girl. I compared it back and forth like that, and then I realized that a girl had some similarities with the ghost girl's shadow outside the police station door. I reached out and pointed at the computer screen, pointed to a collage of some of the people in the photo, and confirmed that more than 70% of the girl and the girl at the door were the same. A week ago, a couple came to report, and they reported to the police that their daughter was missing. But until now, a week has passed, but the police still have not found the girl's whereabouts. We also anticipate the worst-case scenario, unexpected. Officer Lee told me the source of the girl in the picture. Can you communicate with that ghost girl? When he finished, he paused for a moment, then looked at me and asked if I could talk to the ghost girl. I tried many times, but couldn't. I negate Police Lee's question. I've tried communicating with other ghosts a few times before but couldn't. A few days ago, I tried with the spirit of the girl and couldn't either. I could only see them, and there seemed to be some barrier separating me from communicating with them, since humans and ghosts were initially in two different dimensions. Is that girl still standing in front of the police station? Officer Lee was a bit disappointed when he heard that. Then suddenly, a few seconds later, he came to his senses, walked out of the office, and walked outside the police station. After going out, he asked if the ghost girl was still here. Have you seen her yet? Before I could answer that question, Officer Lee asked another question. I had to take off my glasses and look ahead. She's standing right in front of you. I purposely lowered my voice to sound a bit serious and told Officer Lee that I saw the ghost girl standing almost face to face with him. Then, certainly not against my expectations, since meeting that police officer, this is the first time I have seen his face stiffen for a moment. Can you take a close look at this ghost girl and help me carefully describe her figure? But he was only embarrassed for a moment and then quickly regained his composure, as expected of the chief of police. After regaining consciousness, he asked me to describe the figure of the ghost girl. Okay, let's see. She has a bloody wound on the left side of her forehead. It seems to have been hit by something, and the wound caused the forehead to sink into a deep space. The girl looked a little scared, which made my heart flutter a little, but I still stepped closer, observed her, and described it to Officer Lee. I looked closely at the ghost girl and told Officer Lee what I saw. He took out a notebook from his side and began to write down my words. In addition to the blood-stained indentation on her forehead, this ghost girl's wrist was also bruised, looking like a mark of being tied by ropes. The rope wound on the wrist, is there anything else? Every time I said something, Officer Lee mumbled it over and over and carefully wrote it down in his notebook. There's also a lot of mud on her feet. I looked all over the ghost girl's body, and my eyes landed on her muddy feet. There's a lot of mud on your feet. What else? I watched the ghost girl a few more times and told all I saw to Officer Lee. Okay, let's see. On her face and clothes there are stains of water and moss. Her face looks so painful. I don't want to see that pained face any longer. My heart feels like it's choking. Right now, I just want to take my glasses off and put them on. It's over, no more points. I couldn't bear to look, but I couldn't help but look either. I was afraid of missing something, so I tried to look a few more times before taking out my glasses to put on my eyes. Let's see. The forehead was hit by something that made it concave. The wrists were tied with ropes. The feet were covered in mud. The body had water stains and moss. Young man, hurry up and get in the car and go somewhere with me. I just put on my glasses when I saw Officer Lee holding the notebook and rereading what was written on it a few times. Then, as if he had discovered something, his eyes lit up a bit. He came over and asked me to go somewhere, then drove to the police car. After what I observed, I was 80% certain that the girl had been killed, even brutally killed, a horrible death. I also wanted to help the ghost girl, so I agreed to get in the car. Officer Lee drove me and gave me a tour, and he drove me to several lakes and rivers in the area. Police Officer Lee stopped the car at each place, ran into the water, and picked up some dirt and grass for me to evaluate and compare to see if it was similar to what I saw on the ghost girl. Even though I'm no expert, I can still tell them apart based on my eyes. Look at this mud, does it look like it? We have gone through most of the area with water around but still no clue. Not sure what to do this time. It looks like it's similar to those things on the ghost girl. I looked closely at the moss and mud, observed their color for a moment, and then suddenly exclaimed with joy. I finally got a clue. Director Lee here. I need some people to come to the Red Lake area to help, need a rescue team too. After I confirmed the moss and mud, Officer Lee immediately called for help. Soon, many police cars honked their horns and cordoned off the Red Lake area. Police Officer Lee dispatched a rescue team into the water to find the girl's body. After hearing the dispatch of Director Lee, the rescue team immediately dived into the water without delay. Moments later, the rescue team picked up a female body from the bottom of the lake. We have certainly come to the right place. That corpse looked precisely like the ghost girl figure I saw, and it seemed much more tragic than that blurry figure. Everyone present took a breath of cold air when they saw the girl's body. The girl's forehead had a deep dent. The blood had all washed away, leaving only a terrifying indentation, her eyes widening in panic, and her face was gray and blue. The girl's body was slightly swollen from being soaked in water for so long, and her hands were tied behind her back. After being stunned for a while, the police team handled the scene and took the girl's body away. A week after solving the murder case that threw the body into the river, I met Policeman Lee again. That day he invited me to dinner to thank me for helping solve the case. Thank you for helping us solve a big case. Officer Lee just thanked me and casually said it was a robbery and murder, and I also know that he didn't mention that I saw the girl's spirit in the case file. I feel delighted and relieved. After all, I was able to help the girl clean up the wrongdoing and happy because I have a friend like Police Lee. We had a lot of fun that day. We ate and drank and talked about everything in the world. I don't think there's anyone in this world with a natural talent like you. After talking for a while, Officer Lee mentioned my heavenly eyes. What's up? While talking, I don't know why I have a bizarre feeling, and suddenly I subconsciously took off my glasses. As soon as I took off my glasses, I saw something that made my face pale a little. After that, what do you see? Officer Lee was keen to detect an anomaly in me. He turned his back slightly to look behind me and asked what was wrong with me. My gaze was directed to an empty table nearby. Officer Lee also looked in the direction I was looking. Is there something wrong with that? It looks like Officer Lee got a little excited. He looked a few more times and then turned to look at me and asked me, his eyes still occasionally glancing at the empty table. No, nothing. I put on my glasses and replied to Officer Lee that it was nothing. Then pick up the glass of wine and take a sip. Officer Lee heard this and did not inquire further. We continued to eat and talk passionately. Actually, I had seen a faint shadow at that empty table just now, but I didn't want to take care of it much. I just want to have a pleasant and fun meal with a friend.